A group of teenage friends, a familiar basement, and stories that never get old. That 70s show brought an entire generation back to the colorful 70s where friendship, love, and unforgettable moments came to life. The laughs, the mischief, and memories that never fade. But nearly 30 years later, what really happened to the cast? Let's find out. Number 1. Topher Grace as Eric Forman. Eric Forman is not the kind of character who steps out with the aura of a hero. He appears as a skinny, clumsy boy, always caught between sarcastic remarks from friends and the shouting of a strict father. Yet it is that very ordinariness that makes Eric the emotional center of the entire show. And when Topher Grace took on this role in 1998, he was only 20 years old, an age just young enough to bring authenticity to a young man struggling to find himself in the late 70s. At that time, Eric was the heart of the group, the one who led gatherings in the basement, where smoke, laughter, and youthful dreams blended together. But at the same time, he was the weakest when facing family pressure, especially from his father, Red Forman, who always saw his son as a kid without backbone. And it is this conflict that created a rough coming-of-age journey for Eric, from a boy who only knew how to avoid responsibility to someone who dared to face the future, even if he sometimes failed. In the early seasons, Eric is closely tied to his innocent yet deep relationship with Donna Pinciotti, a love story both sweet and full of conflict, as Eric constantly struggles between holding on to love and asserting his own identity, sometimes selfish, sometimes weak, but also having moments of surprising maturity, especially when he decides to leave Point Place to teach in Africa in later seasons, a turning point that makes viewers realize Eric is no longer the boy in the basement, but has begun his own journey. It is this imperfect development that makes the role stand out, because Eric is not an ideal model, but a reflection of many young people, those who want to rebel yet fear the future. And Topher Grace portrayed it with a naturalness that almost feels like he wasn't acting at all. But behind the lights, Topher's story also has notable turns. When he decided to leave the series before it ended, a controversial decision at the time because Eric was the central character. Many believed he had left the ship too early, but in reality, Topher wanted to escape the sitcom shadow to pursue film, and he appeared in major projects like Spider-Man 3, although not always as successful as expected. His career afterward took a quieter path. Not loud, no major scandals, but no longer at the peak like during that 70s show. In his personal life, Topher Grace maintains a fairly clean image, married Ashley Hinshaw and has a stable family, staying away from the controversies some co-stars faced, which makes him one of the few who left the show without being consumed by the dark side of fame. As of 2026, Topher Grace is 48 years old, born in 1978, and although no longer the Eric Forman of the past, he is still remembered as the soul of the show, a symbol of awkward yet genuine youth. And when looking back, people remember not only the jokes in the basement, but also Eric's eyes that always fluctuated between fear and hope, just like our own youth. And perhaps that is why even as time passes, Eric Forman remains, not as a perfect character, but as an irreplaceable part of memory. Number 2. Mila Kunis as Jackie Burkhart. If Eric Forman is the soft heart of that 70s show, then Jackie Burkhart is the proud, impulsive, and contradictory flame, a girl who seems to live only by her looks and selfishness. But the deeper you go, the more her wounds are revealed, making it impossible to completely hate her. And when Mila Kunis stepped into this role in 1998, she was only 14 years old, born in 1983. Even though casting rules required actors to be at least 18, Mila bent the rules by saying she was almost 18, a small lie that opened the door to one of the most iconic roles in American sitcom history. Jackie initially appears as Kelso's annoying girlfriend, always demanding, always wanting attention, always believing she is the center of the universe. She can cry just because she is not complimented, can get angry over trivial things, and almost never admits she is wrong. But it is precisely that excess that creates her uniqueness, because Jackie does not try to be good. She lives true to her nature, and that makes audiences both irritated and captivated. Through each season, Jackie gradually changes, not through dramatic transformations, but through small cracks in her arrogant shell. When she is betrayed by Kelso, when her family collapses and she loses the wealthy life she once took for granted, Jackie is forced to face reality, to grow up, to learn independence. And it is during this time that her relationship with Hyde begins to develop, an unlikely pairing yet full of depth, because Hyde sees Jackie's true self, while Jackie finds a different kind of protection in him, not flashy but genuine. Jackie's role stands out because it breaks the useless pretty girl stereotype by showing inner development. She may still be selfish and arrogant, but she is no longer the girl from the first season. She knows how to love sincerely, to feel pain, and to change even if imperfectly in real life. Mila Kunis's journey is even more dramatic. From a Ukrainian immigrant girl who moved to the U at age 7, she had to learn English from scratch, face cultural differences, and Jackie became the stepping stone that launched her to stardom. After leaving that 70s show, Mila made a strong breakthrough with film roles like Black Swan, earning an Oscar nomination, proving she is more than just a sitcom face. Her personal life also drew attention with a nearly decade-long relationship with Macaulay Culkin before they split, and later marrying her former co-star Ashton Kutcher, creating a fiction-turned-reality story that surprised fans. Though their marriage remains relatively private and low in scandal, as of 2026, Mila Kunis is 43 years old, maintaining a stable career in Hollywood, while also being a mother and a wife. A far more mature image than Jackie once was. But what people remember most is still the sharp gaze, the biting voice, and the unmistakable Jackie energy, because she is not just a character, but a piece of an entire generation's youth. And looking back, Jackie Burkhart is no longer the hated girl, but proof that even those who seem shallow can change, just in their own unique way. Number 3. Ashton Kutcher as Michael Kelso. Michael Kelso is the goofy wind that blows apart all order in that 70s show. A man absurdly handsome yet possessing intelligence, almost non-existent. And it is this contrast that turns Kelso into one of the funniest characters in the entire series. When Ashton Kutcher took the role in 1998, he was 20 years old, born in 1978, bringing the look of a model, which was completely true since he had been one, and that appearance was directly built into Kelso, a guy who always believes he is the center of attention, yet constantly creates unbelievably ridiculous situations. From the very first episodes, Kelso is portrayed as a charming idiot. He can forget everything, misunderstand every sentence, and is always the one causing trouble for the group. From accidentally ruining plans, causing accidents, to jokes that go too far. But what makes Kelso special is that he never intends to hurt anyone. His stupidity comes from nature, not malice. In his relationship with Jackie, Kelso appears as a terrible boyfriend, constantly cheating, betraying, and hurting her. But paradoxically, he still has sincere moments that make it hard for viewers to completely hate him, especially when he tries to fix his mistakes, though often failing in a very Kelso way. A major turning point for the character comes when Kelso becomes a father, a situation that forces him to face responsibility, something he always avoided before. And although he retains his signature foolishness, Kelso begins to show signs of growth, a small change but enough to add depth to a character mainly built for comedy. It is this balance between humor and humanity that makes Kelso iconic, because he represents a type of person everyone has met or been during youth. Impulsive, thoughtless, but not bad in real life. Ashton Kutcher's journey is even more remarkable than his characters. From an unknown model, he became a major star thanks to that 70s show, then quickly transitioned into film with many box office hits, while also building a reputation as a tech entrepreneur with investments in companies like Airbnb and Uber, something that surprises many when compared to the goofy Kelso image on screen. His personal life is also full of drama, marrying Demi Moore 15 years older in a relationship that once shocked Hollywood, before ending in divorce and media scandals, later finding stability by marrying his former co-star Mila Kunis, creating a fairy tale-like ending in real life. However, not everything has been smooth, as Ashton faced controversy for supporting Danny Masterson during a high-profile trial, affecting his public image to some extent. As of 2026, Ashton Kutcher is 48 years old, still active in entertainment and business, but with a far more mature and composed image than the young Kelso. And looking back, people realize Kelso is not just comic relief, but a memory of youthful carefreeness, a time when mistakes were not endings, but stories to tell later. And perhaps that is why Michael Kelso, despite his foolishness, remains irreplaceable in the hearts of audiences. Number 4. Danny Masterson as Stephen Hyde. Not Eric, not Kelso, but Stephen Hyde is the quiet darkness that makes that 70s show deeper than its comedic surface. A rebellious, cold young man who always stands in the corner with an observant gaze and an imaginary cigarette. And when Danny Masterson took on this role in 1998, he was 22 years old, born in 1976, bringing the aura of a true outsider, someone who does not believe in the system, in family, or almost anything beyond himself. Hyde appears from the beginning as Eric's close friend, but completely opposite. If Eric is hesitation, then Hyde is decisiveness. If Eric believes in love, then Hyde doubts everything. He grew up in a broken family, abandoned by his mother, without support, and that past turned him into a true rebel. From opposing society, living carelessly, to always keeping distance from others. But what makes Hyde special is not his cool exterior, but the rare moments when that shell cracks, when Red Forman takes him in. For the first time, he has a real home. And it is the Forman family that gradually changes him, not through moral lectures, but through presence, by giving him a place to return to, even if Hyde never openly admits it. The relationship between Hyde and Jackie is one of the most interesting storylines, as it is a collision between two opposite worlds. One side a rich, selfish girl, the other a poor, cynical boy. Yet that difference allows them to understand each other in a strange way. Jackie finds stability in Hyde that she never had, while Hyde finds a reason to open up, even if their relationship does not end perfectly. It proves Hyde is not an emotionless rebel, but someone capable of love, just in a more complicated way. Hyde stands out because he adds depth to the show. Amid laughter, he is a reminder that not everyone in the group had a peaceful childhood, and not everyone easily finds happiness. But while Hyde in the show survives his wounds, in real life, Danny Masterson's story takes a completely different and much darker path. After leaving the spotlight of that 70s show, his career was no longer as prominent, and then serious allegations related to sexual assault emerged, leading to a years-long trial that drew global media attention. And by 2023, Danny Masterson was sentenced to a long prison term, a scoot that not only ended his career, but completely shattered his public image. This drama also sparked controversy involving former co-stars, as some, including Ashton Kutcher, were criticized for supporting him in court, dividing public opinion. As of 2026, Danny Masterson is 50 years old, serving his sentence and almost completely absent from the entertainment industry, an ending completely opposite to Hyde's image, someone who, despite rebellion, still had a chance to change. And looking back, Stephen Hyde remains one of the most beloved characters of the show, but the story behind the actor makes the emotions more complex, reminding us that the line between character and real person is sometimes not just acting, but real-life choices, and not everyone gets a redemption arc like on screen. Number 5. Laura Prepon as Donna Pinciotti, a tall red-haired girl in a small town where women are often placed into outdated molds. And when Laura Prepon took on this role in 1998, she was 18 years old, born in 1980, bringing a look both strong and captivating, enough to turn Donna into the ultimate national crush of a generation. Donna appears as Eric's close neighbor, but unlike any girl around her, she is intelligent, outspoken, loves music, and always longs to escape the suffocating life in Point Place. From the very first episodes, Donna clearly shows her independent personality by rejecting gender stereotypes. She wants to be heard, respected, and is not afraid to argue with anyone, even Eric or her own father. The relationship between Donna and Eric is one of the most consistent and profound storylines of the show, starting from friendship, developing into love, then going through countless breakups and reconciliations. There are times when they seem unable to stay together due to differences in thinking and life direction, especially when Donna wants to pursue a radio career, wants to leave the town to seek bigger opportunities, while Eric hesitates, fears, and is not ready to change. These conflicts highlight Donna as a strong female character who refuses to sacrifice her dreams just to keep a relationship. She loves Eric, but she also loves herself, and that makes her a rare figure in sitcoms of that era. Through each season, Donna clearly matures, from a rebellious girl into a woman who knows what she wants. Even though the journey is not easy, she has to face her parents' divorce, must find her own path in a world that does not always support independent women. But those challenges make Donna one of the most layered characters. The role stands out not only because of Laura Prepon's appearance, but also because of how she conveys Donna's confidence and complex inner world, making the character both strong and vulnerable in real life. Laura Prepon continued acting with many notable roles, especially in Orange is the New Black, where she portrayed a completely different, tougher and more mature image, proving she is not limited to Donna's mold. Her personal life also gained attention when she married actor Ben Foster and built her own family, living relatively privately with few major scandals compared to many peers. As of 2026, Laura Prepon is 46 years old, still active in the entertainment industry with a mature, calm, and steady image. Looking back, Donna Pinciotti is not just Eric's girlfriend, but a symbol of a generation of young women who dare to think differently, live differently, and refuse to be defined by others. And perhaps what makes Donna most memorable is not her love story, but her journey to find herself in a world that constantly tries to shape her into someone else. A journey that still holds value today. Number 6. Wilmer Valderrama as Fez. No one knows where he comes from. No one fully understands what he says. Yet Fez is the strangest piece that makes that 70s show irreplaceable. A character who is humorous, mysterious, and somewhat out of place in the world of typical American teenagers. And when Wilmer Valderrama took on this role in 1998, he was only 18 years old, born in 1980, almost an unknown face, but bringing a completely different energy. Fez, whose name is actually short for foreign exchange student, is built as a true outsider. From his unusual accent, awkward pronunciation, to the strange customs he constantly mentions but never fully explains, everything about Fez is a question mark, and that is what creates his charm. Because the audience never truly knows who he is or where he comes from, making every line he delivers feel unexpected. In the early seasons, Fez is often used as a comedic element, with situations that are out of sync with American culture. From misunderstanding social rules to behavior seen as odd, especially his obsession with women, an aspect that is both humorous and controversial when viewed from a modern perspective. But beneath that, Fez is a lonely character, a young man far from home, living in a place where he does not fully belong, and that sense of displacement makes him more relatable. Over time, Fez gradually finds his place in the group, no longer just the weird foreign guy, but a true friend, someone who can love, feel pain, and grow, especially in his relationship with Jackie in later seasons, when two seemingly unrelated people find connection in their own way. The role of Fez stands out because it breaks familiar stereotypes, offering a different perspective on youth, where not everyone fits into society, but can still find belonging if they persist. In real life, Wilmer Valderrama's journey somewhat mirrors his character. Born in the U.S., but raised partly in Venezuela before returning, experiencing the feeling of not fully belonging anywhere, and that experience helped him bring authenticity to Fez. After that 70s show, Wilmer continued acting in television, notably in NCIS, where he built a more mature and serious image, stepping out of Fez's shadow. His personal life attracted attention with relationships involving stars like Lindsay Lohan and Demi Lovato, but also controversy for oversharing about others in interviews, affecting his image at times. However, later on, Wilmer found stability, started a family, and became a father, moving toward a more private life. As of 2026, Wilmer Valderrama is 46 years old, still active in entertainment and remembered as Fez, a character without a real name yet with a very real place in the audience's hearts. And looking back, Fez is not just comic relief, but a symbol of those who are different, those who take longer to be accepted, but once they find where they belong, they become an essential part of the story, just as Fez did with the group and with the audience. Number 7. Kurtwood Smith as Red Forman. Not the laughter, not the basement jokes, but the cold scoldings and stern gaze of Red Forman are the silent backbone that keeps that 70s show from drifting into meaninglessness. A father so strict he almost seems cruel, yet hiding a kind of love he never knows how to express. And when Kurtwood Smith took on this role in 1998, he was already 55 years old, born in 1943, bringing the experience of a seasoned actor to create a Red Forman who is both intimidating and unforgettable. Red appears as the classic American man of the 1970s, a veteran, hardworking, believing in discipline and responsibility, and especially having no patience for weakness, particularly in his son Eric. Lines like "I'm going to put my foot in your ass" became Red's trademark, both humorous and a clear reflection of the pressure Eric faces. But Red is not just a strict father. He represents a generation, men who grew up in war, accustomed to suppressing emotions, and unable to express love except through discipline, which is why the relationship between Red and Eric is not just personal conflict, but a clash between two generations, one seeking freedom, the other believing in responsibility through the seasons. Red does not change dramatically like the younger characters, but small details reveal he is not entirely cold. From taking Hyde in, to rare moments of pride in Eric, even if expressed only through a nod or a brief comment. And that restraint makes the emotion stronger, because Red does not need many words for the audience to understand he loves his family in his own way. The role stands out because it perfectly balances comedy and drama, strictness and affection, making Red not just a scary dad but a deeply layered character, a man caught between what he was taught and what he truly feels. In real life, Kurtwood Smith is not a loud figure. He has had a long career with many notable roles before and after that 70s show. But Red Forman is the role that defined his name in the public's memory. Unlike many younger co-stars, Kurtwood avoided major scandals, maintaining a stable personal life, married and known as a professional actor, creating an interesting contrast with the drama surrounding some other cast members. As of 2026, Kurtwood Smith is 83 years old, still respected as a veteran actor in Hollywood. And although age has advanced, the image of Red Forman remains vivid in the audience's memory, not just for iconic lines, but because he represents a type of father many once feared, resisted, but later came to understand. And looking back, Red may not be immediately likable, but he is the one who stays the longest in the mind, because behind that toughness is a silent love, a kind of affection that only becomes clear with time. From the smoke-filled basement of that 70s show, they stepped into real life with completely different fates. Some shined, some stumbled, but all left behind an irreplaceable piece of youth. And when the lights go out, names like Topher Grace, Mila Kunis, and Ashton Kutcher still remain like a memory that reminds us we were once young.